This is that explosion that took place at the Nowgam Police Station. This is very, very worrisome. A major explosion, there's a huge explosion at 20 minutes past 11 last night at the Nowgam Police Station. Now, Nowgam on the outskirts of Srinagar. It's the Nowgam Police, and there was brilliant beat police work by the Nowgam Police that this module was busted. You know how? Because the police personnel at this police station, they spotted some of these elements putting Jaish-e-Mohammed posters. They were seen on CCTV cameras. They were identified. They were called in for questioning. They were interrogated, 3 of them initially. Once they were interrogated on arrest, it led to the arrest of that Maulvi Irfan. Maulvi Irfan was the person of the Nowgam Masjid who was radicalizing these youngsters. He incidentally was also the paramedic of the Government Medical College in Srinagar. Once he was questioned and documents were searched, a list of doctors emerged, including Dr. Muzammil, Dr. Adil, Dr. Muhammad Umar. This is where the Jammu and Kashmir police and the Haryana police started conducting a series of searches and raids, and others were taken into custody. Sadly, that Dr. Muhammad Umar escaped and that blast took place. But that wider module, information came in through the Nowgam police, and last night there was a massive blast at the Nowgam police station. Now, Nalin Prabhat, the Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police, he said it's an accidental explosion. Certain samples were being collected for forensic examination, and that is where there was accidental discharge of these explosives. Unfortunately, 9 people lost their lives, 27 plus are injured. We get you more in this report.
Four days after Delhi's Red Fort blast, Srinagar was rocked by a powerful explosion. On the outskirts of Srinagar, at the Nowgam Police Station, a massive explosion ripped through the compound at 11:22 p.m. on Friday, turning a forensic operation into a devastating tragedy.
Sources say that the explosives that were recovered in Faridabad, they were handed over to the Jammu and Kashmir police. Some explosives also from UP, and they were brought in because the protocol says that the police station, which had the first FIR, which is investigating it, the explosives should come there. And it seems sampling and they were checking these explosives when they went off.
Several people lost their lives, with many more being injured, mostly police personnel and forensic experts. Among the dead, an SIA inspector, 3 FSL experts, 2 crime branch photographers, 2 revenue department officials, and a civilian tailor who was present at the station. The Jammu Kashmir DGP and the Ministry of Home Affairs have ruled out any terror angle, calling it a tragic accidental explosion.
The handling was being done with extreme caution, with utmost caution by the FSL team. However, unfortunately, during this course, last night around 11:20 p.m., an accidental explosion has taken place.
14 नवंबर 2025 यानी कि कल रात को लगभग 11:20 बजे अचानक एक्सीडेंटल विस्फोट हुआ। इस दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना में 9 लोगों की मृत्यु हो गई और 27 पुलिसकर्मी, 2 राजस्व अधिकारी और 3 नागरिक घायल हुए।
The volatile material had been recovered from Faridabad, linked to arrested Dr. Muzammil, part of a massive 360 kg cache stored at the station as evidence.
This was the impact of the blast. It was so strong that it also damaged the buildings nearby. There are houses in the vicinity of this police station, the Nowgam Police Station, and you see how the whole area has been now evacuated. People have been injured. More than 27 people are injured as per the police. There are civilians also injured. And you see more buildings, impact on more buildings is visible. So the police station has been damaged, destroyed. 9 lives have been lost. More than 27 people have been injured. There are certain people who are still missing.
A terror case is evidence, becoming a disaster of its own. As the nation now mourns the lives lost, a wreath-laying ceremony was held in Srinagar. With Mir Farid and Shivani Sharma in Srinagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
I want to bring in India Today's Mir Farid, who joins us with the latest on this investigation. Mir, you've spoken to the DGP, you've spoken to your sources in the police. Was the handling of the explosives, and Jammu and Kashmir police has tremendous experience. What went wrong? Prima facie, what transpired? We've unfortunately had 9 fatalities and close to 32 injuries.
Well, Gaurav, more than us, it's the Jammu and Kashmir police which would want answers to these questions, because this is an explosion which is clearly unprecedented. Police, as you rightly said, has massive experience. 35 years of experience in handling such cases, explosives, IEDs, etc. So what really went wrong last night that led to this massive explosion? I mean, it was unprecedented. The sound was heard across 7-kilometer radius. There was a fireball in the sky, you could easily see from a distance. So this was massive. And police sources say that they are looking within, they're trying to find out what really went wrong, and they're trying to get the pieces together, because the police station, half of which is absolutely smashed, it's razed, and it's razed to the ground, and FSL teams, police investigative teams are on the location, and they're trying to find answers as to what really went wrong. They'll obviously speak to the survivors as well. There are some policemen who have been injured. Their accounts will also be taken. But quite clearly, you have to also understand that these explosives came all the way from Faridabad in a pickup truck. In small packages, they reached Srinagar. Directly, it was taken to the Nowgam Police Station. Again, it is a police station that is right in the middle of a congested locality. So there also...
And it was kept out in the open. Explosives are not kept inside. This is what my sources in the police are telling me, Mir, that all these explosives were kept out in the open. Some sample was being collected. There was a tailor there who was to, wrap it in that gunny sack and then seal it. And that's when the explosion took place. But what I want to understand from you is, also in the investigation, the Maulvi has been arrested. Some doctors have been arrested. What more can you add? Tell us about Dr. Tajammul Malik. And based on speaking to him, I'm told some others were under the scanner. Do we have more details?
Well, yes, Gaurav. In fact, there are many people who have been picked up. You have to understand that this is a big investigation. There are many linkages that are coming up during investigation, during interrogation, questioning of these doctors. So each day, when there is something new that is unearthed, it ensures that there are new raids, new people are under the scanner. Now, there are certain doctors, as you named one, Dr. Tajammul, and there are at least 4 to 5 more. 2 have been picked up from GMC, Anantnag, 1 from Kazigund, 1 from Shopian, and they have all been named, or somehow their names have cropped up during investigation, and they are being questioned. Close to 200 to 300 detentions have been done by the Jammu and Kashmir police. Some have been released, against whom there are certain suspicions that are keeping them in police custody and for questioning. Right now, though, the attention has been diverted towards the unfortunate incident in Nowgam, but our sources say that the focus, the center point remains this investigation. And one more important point, Gaurav, that the police is looking beyond this. They're trying to find out whether there could be more such modules. There are searches that are happening in scrap shops, in second-hand car dealers' locations. They're trying to find out whether in the last some time they have those registries. They're telling people to keep a proper CCTV camera setup registry. So they've learned their lessons from this particular incident, and they're trying to ensure that this message spreads, and if at all there are more modules through
I
those
will come
raids,
back to you for more. I want to bring in General Hasnain. General Hasnain, you've commanded a corps in Kashmir. You've interacted extensively with Jammu and Kashmir. It's one of the most professional police forces. Your reading of this explosion from here, sir, accidental explosion, could it be sabotage? Could it be the enemy within?
See, Gaurav, first of all, I have tremendous respect for the Jammu and Kashmir police. There's no doubt about it. A highly professional police force. I virtually act as an ambassador of that force. But having said that, the 2 incidents, if we take the Red Fort incident also as an accidental blast, and now the second one as an accidental blast, I mean, this becomes too much of a kind of a coincidence. I'm not a bomb expert. I'm not an explosive expert. But this much I know, and we all know in the armed forces, that explosive by itself is as good as talcum powder. But the moment you bring a initiator next to it, a detonator within it, that is the time when it becomes lethal. Because the detonator, it is not the fire which causes the explosion, it is the shock waves. Now, were detonators also placed alongside here? Were detonators also a part of the recovery, which was not looked at perhaps? I don't know, one cannot say this at this time. But obviously a lot of investigation and a lot of footwork will have to go into this. I can quote you one example of what happened earlier in the past of a similar nature. 1993, we had a similar incident in Badami Bagh, where you had a very senior army officer killed when he was inspecting ammunition, weapons, and explosives which had been picked up from hideouts. And a senior officer of the rank of a lieutenant general was killed at that time also. Right? So you must remember that Jammu and Kashmir is a strange place. These kind of coincidences happen. At this moment, there is nothing to point a finger in any way that this is sabotage, and I think the DG Police has made that very clear.
He indeed did, and we'll be tracking that story very closely. General Hasnain, for joining me here on this India First special broadcast. Many thanks. You know, because if something's happening again and again, it could be happenstance once, coincidence the second time, but it's enemy action if it continues to happen. Ian Fleming said it, it's as true of Goldfinger then as it is of India's war on radical Islamist terror today.